me take you through the journey.
Okay.
So it was started in 2003. I was inspired by a comment that my daughter made. She was only 13 at the time, but her and her friends were saving up the money for breast implants. That was the inspiration. But what drives me and what fills me with passion and gets me to this point with 120 sculptures is the fact that research shows that very few people are satisfied with their physical form. We often want to make changes that are drastic or dangerous to our health, and we don't consider our health often when we do make any kind of changes to our diet or our exercise regime. More of a concern to me is self-mutilation in various forms, even self-talk being so negative and destroying who we are as people. So what I decided to do is create sculptures of real women aged 19 to 91. When I say real, I mean naturally beautiful. They had to be over age of 18 so that they were adult. They couldn't be pregnant at the time of casting, because when we're pregnant, society accepts the fact that we have a larger belly and our bodies change shape. As soon as we've given birth, the pressure's back on again for us to lose the weight. So it was a way of narrowing the message for myself and for the project. My other rule was simply any surgeries had to be for medical reasons only. So that's how the project started. As you can see here around the exhibit, there's 120. They're made of clay, not plaster. Each one represents that woman's journey, and that's the way I decorated it. I wrote the stories, I created the sculptures. So I get asked all the time, did the women have any input? Yes, their input was their body, to donate their body to this cause. As your first question was, how did I get the volunteers? You can imagine I couldn't really put up a poster saying, need boobs and bellies. So what I did instead is I went around quietly asking people, telling them my message, that I wanted to show Mother Nature doesn't make any mistakes. We come in all shapes and sizes, and lumps and bumps are a natural part of our progression. With that said, at first year it was really hard to get volunteers. People came forward for their own reasons. And then as the project moved on and more people heard about it, then mothers, grandmothers, aunts, sisters all came forward to be cast. They're survivors. They're dealing with or have dealt with abuse, some of them cancer, some of them have occupations like social work and therapists, some of them are ministers of the church. There's everybody here, age 19 to 91, all shapes and sizes, from all walks of life.
Everyone is beautiful. I mean, each sculpture is absolutely beautiful, but is there one that's a particular favorite of yours?
People always ask me what my favorite is. I feel like I'm like their mother, so I can't choose a favorite. There's very powerful stories. I believe the one I'm standing in front of, or the two here, are ones that, ones that are very well known because they're covered mostly in the media, and the young lady has given me permission to use her name. So you'll see Invasive Beauty and Invasive Beauty. This is Sarah 3 days before a double mastectomy, and this is Sarah a number of weeks after her mastectomy. If you're able to look closer, you'll see it says the fight to survive, the courage of life, and there's some more words on here talking about how lovable and courageous she is. My message is simply there that whatever your body's been through, whether it is a cancer, whether it's an eating disorder, or whether it's just the wear and tear of life, we have to love and accept our body for what it is right now today. Because when we have self-acceptance, only then can we succeed at everything we want to do. Without self-acceptance, we can find ourselves in not so healthy relationships, not following our dreams, as well as a whole range of other things. So my goal is simply love and embrace what you have and celebrate what Mother Nature gave you, and try to ignore a little bit of the marketing from the industries that want us to change without even knowing who we are.
You said you started because of a comment from your daughter. What does your daughter think now after all?
Well,
after this?
Of course, it was hard for a 13-year-old to see her mum make all these sculptures of women and have them all over the house. But she soon got used to it. To my delight, she did go to see one of the exhibits, and she left a message in the guest book saying, changing the world one cast at a time. At this time in our life, she's 21. I was an extremely young mother, and we're not always on talking terms right now, so to see that guest book comment was an absolute thrill to me. I understand I still have her support.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.